Welcome back to Tea and Toasties. I'm one of your hosts, Sabrina.
And I'm Rich. I'm the other one.
And welcome to episode 5.
Five's alive.
Woo!
So how are we doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
Go on, you go.
We had quite the morning this morning. You showed up and I realized I had no coffee.
Yeah. Things can't get going without coffee.
That will not do.
Everyone knows that.
But you were able to go out and make a quick run.
Yep. Asked you, where would I find this coffee?
Where to get
liquid?
coffee?
Where can we find it? Quick direction. You said aim for the white truck up the road on the right-hand side. Zuma's, right?
Zuma Coffee.
Zuma's coffee truck. So yeah, headed up there. High hopes. Found it quite quickly.
Great.
Got the order in, chatting to the bloke. Just talking to him about, the first part I was overhearing, he was talking to someone else and he was talking about how the rebuild is going.
Yeah.
After the hurricane.
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a disaster zone over here, rebuilding currently. Luckily, it hasn't been a big concern with actual record because they're doing construction downstairs constantly.
Construction noise.
Just like 5 minutes ago, they started drilling it into the walls.
Who knows
it sounds
what?
like. Who knows what? But luckily, I don't think you can hear that.
So if you do, then just ignore.
Ignore.
Ignore. So yeah, he was talking about his rebuild in his shop and they're aiming for April.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
It's so good. Everyone here, all the businesses, they're very gung-ho. They've got that lively spirit, they're coming back. Yeah. They're all very confident about it. And I mean, the community has been so supportive. Everyone's giving money and helping out where they can.
Yeah.
Because, it's all small local people. They want their people back.
Exactly. I want to get back to normal as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And, we were saying, once we got chatting, that, once people pull together and they have, a common purpose, you can achieve anything. People are resilient.
Yeah. Especially since, all of the patrons have also been affected. So it's all like a collective understanding.
Right.
Not just some random. Yeah. We all get it. We can relate and empathize, sympathize, whichever one I forget.
That's it. Sympathize and empathize.
Yeah.
Both those I's. And we were chatting a bit more while I was waiting for the coffees. And he was like, so what you got? What are you into this morning? And I thought, shall I say or shall I not? And I thought, fuck it, why not? So I told him, I said, this is what I'm up to. Just heading over to my mates and we're gonna record our podcast. And I didn't expect his response.
What was it?
He was like, oh, what's it called?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I told him. He repeated it. So I repeated it back. And
get it in there.
Get it in there. And he had it down and he's like, where can I listen? And I told him and he's like, well, yeah, I'm an Apple guy. So
got you covered there.
By the way, he does mean apple and cinnamon muffins. So he's definitely
apples all around.
And apples all around. He says, right, I'll give it a listen. He says, what's it about?
Right. That's the biggest question, right?
Yeah. What am I going to listen to? And I said, well, the overarching theme is, the creative mind, creativity, how people think. And that just sparked in him. And he was like, oh, I love that. And he's like, I'm reading this book. And I said, not Rick Rubin, right? And he was like, yes. Yeah. Rick Rubin.
Yeah, that one book.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Hold on. Sidebar. This book. I forgot about this book. You, probably a year ago.
Yeah.
Longer than a year.
Probably. Oh, yeah, it is.
You were telling me about this book and you were all about it. Telling me all the insights from the book. And then you bought the physical book and you let me borrow it. You're like, you have to read it. I was like, okay. I was, dipping in and out of this book and it's kind of a coffee table book-ish. You could kind of just flip it open and read any page and be like, oh, and take something away from it, right?
Yeah.
That's how I was kind of reading it. And then I started seing Aaron. The first time I ever went over to his house, this book was on his side table right there. And I was like, what the fuck? This book. And I think prior to that, I was talking about something with a friend the day before that. And he was like, I'm reading this book currently. And it was that book.
No way.
It was just everywhere in my life at that time.
Right. It's a theme that's running through.
It's a theme.
Yeah. And here it is again. It's popped up. Again. I listened to it on Audible at the gym while we were in South Carolina and loved it so much. Yeah. Then I bought the physical, read that.
Yeah.
Loved that. And I bought a copy each for my nephew and niece, Jack and Lucy. I was that into this. But so anyone who wants to read, I really recommend this book.
What's it called again? It's like the creative mind.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll insert the correct title there.
Anyway, y'all know it. It's that Rick Rubin one.
Yeah, it's the grey. I got the hardback. It's the grey cover with the dot and the circle in the middle. Rick Rubin, producer.
Yeah, it's The Creative Act.
The Creative Act.
Anyways.
Yeah, so we were talking about that. And so I said, yeah, that's what we talk about, plus a lot of chit-chat, natter. And he's like, it sounds great to me, my sort of thing.
Sweet. Well, shout out.
I know. Well, we are basically fueled by Zuma this morning.
Sponsored.
Yeah, not quite sponsored.
Physically.
But yeah, fueled up because we got the coffees.
Awesome.
Like this pod wasn't going to get going this morning until we had coffee.
It wasn't, yeah.
No.
Look at that little blessing in disguise. Me being out of coffee led to this great interaction.
Right.
Don't you just love that?
I do. I mean, imagine if you'd had coffee on board. It would have just been, all
right, here we go again.
The coffee, same coffee. So yeah, we're fueled up. We've downed the coffee.
Yep.
We're ready to go. So let's dive in, I guess, right?
Yeah, sure. I want to get into a bit of last night.
Yes.
Unless you had something else in mind.
Yes. No, you go.
Yesterday, actually, it was an all-day affair. I was trying to get this podcast posted, actually. Episode 4.
Right.
It was scheduled for Monday. Was a bit late on that already to begin with. Monday morning, Aaron and I are scrambling around trying to get it finished, mixed and mastered, all that.
Mm-hmm.
My plan was to post it while at work on Monday.
Right.
I sent it over to you. You were listening to it to get the final clearance.
Yeah, just to make
on
sure.
On your end?
Yeah, just to make sure I wasn't sounding,
Yeah, cut that. We'll cut that.
Yep.
But it was all good to go. So I hit publish on the on the site, and my computer crashed. And then
burned.
I proceeded to do this like 3 more times. Crashed every time. I thought the computer was dead. Like a crash in a way that I've never seen a computer crash before. Like
black screen or?
Yeah, it just was frozen. I couldn't move anything. I couldn't even turn the computer off. Like I closed the laptop, the screen still stayed on, like just fully just frozen.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, Jesus. So then it was a double thing of, well, now I can't post this episode. And now I also can't even do work at work.
The work.
And so I'm just sitting there and waiting for it to come back. But anyways, I tried that all day at work. Still didn't work.
Did you do anything proactive? Did you think, what else can I get into at work?
I mean, yes. I was like, hey, still not working. And then you tasked me up with some other like non-computer things. But the big problem is like all of it is kind of reliant on the laptop. I mean,
is
we work
a lot
on
of computer work.
E-commerce site. It's like doing, even if we're not, actively like messaging customers or doing things in the Etsy business. It's like, well, can you do this thing on Photoshop, or can you make this thing over here and then prep this or do this? And it's all
we're very reliant. We're an online business.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell do I do? But yeah. And then it came back. I was able to do actual work. But my theory was that it was just the laptop couldn't handle posting the episode or something, because I posted it on my PC here at home previously. Mm-hmm. And it was a longer episode, 90 minutes.
Bit beefy, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of theories were going through my brain. But the issue with the website was it would just crash blindly. There was no error message. There was no reason. They weren't telling me why it wasn't working.
So you didn't have any like guidance, nothing to go on? Yeah,
nothing to go on. Because then I was thinking, well, shit, is there something in the title or the description that they don't like? Is it actually just too big?
Right.
Is like, what's going on? I didn't know.
Because it's like an hour and a half.
It is. So anyway, I did that, came home, had a 2-hour drive home.
Ouch.
Sometimes that happens with the traffic.
You hit the traffic.
Monday, that was one of those days, but I was fine. And I picked up food on the way home. Aaron and I both just like couldn't be bothered to cook.
What'd you get?
We just got, oh God, no judgment here. We got 2 separate things because we both wanted different things. I wanted Zaxby's.
Zaxby's nice.
And Aaron wanted Wendy's.
Ooh, that's tough.
Luckily, they're both,
choose.
They're like right next door to each other.
So which one first?
I hit up Zaxby's first because, not to pat myself on the back here, I wanted Aaron's food to be warmer than mine.
Look at you.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Because it was like, it's 20 minutes away.
Right.
It's on the way home, but then once I hit that, I still have 20 minutes left until I'm home.
To get back.
So I was like, it's going to be kind of cold or not as hot when I get there anyways. But yeah, got home, sat down to eat, and I'm like, why is the TV not on? And Aaron's like, oh, the internet is out.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there thinking, I have to scarf this food down to go upload this episode, now like 12 hours late, and the internet is down. So yeah.
It's always the way, isn't it?
It's always the way. Mm-hmm. Luckily, it did come back on like an hour later. So I came in here, uploaded the episode. What do you know? It crashed my PC. Again. And I'm like, okay. At this point, starting to really panic. Like attacks. Now I don't know what to do. And I tried for hours all night, various different things. And the one thing I didn't try was a different browser. That's what I did. Shout out Firefox.
Well done, Firefox.
It worked. I'm a Google Chrome girly through and through. And I just didn't think that she would let me down like that.
Firefox to the rescue.
But yeah, I went on Firefox 2 seconds. Didn't even think about uploading it. So yeah, that.
Right. I mean, that was late last night.
Yeah,
but
like
you still hit your deadline.
Hey, still posted on Monday.
Didn't you?
Did.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
Even though all those speed bumps.
Yeah.
You can still say I kept to my schedule.
Yep. But I was just thinking, of course, the first Monday.
Yeah.
Monday every episode, and then Monday comes and
no episode.
My phone was just blowing up. Everyone was just asking me, where is this episode?
You promised. Is the pod still going?
All right, what's going? What am I supposed to do with my life?
Yes, I ditched all my other pods because I thought yours was so good.
But it all worked out.
This was the pod to rule all pods.
All those things were definitely said verbatim.
Anyway.
How was your night last night? I know I was texting you during all that craziness and you were texting every, few minutes like, how's it going?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And then you said, I'm going for a run.
Yes.
Was that real? Did you actually go on a run? What time was that? Like 10 p.m.?
No, that was like 5:30.
It was late though, I thought.
Maybe 7.
It was dark though.
It was dark, granted.
Because I remember being like, that sounds scary.
Well.
And also it must be nice.
What, to go for a run?
You can just go on a run at nightfall and not a care in the world. You know?
That's a good point.
What a weird feeling I'll never understand.
Tell me more.
I'm very snatchable.
Snatchable?
Yeah. Like someone could just pull up and just
pick you up, throw you in the van.
Put me in the van and I'm out of there. Yeah, I could definitely not run at night. I would just be too scared.
You could do group running. I've seen that.
It's true. I have done this before. Not group running, but like, when you're running with a friend and then they're just like yapping away.
Running buddy.
And I'm like, I cannot speak. I can barely even breathe. Like when I'm running, like, do not talk to me, please.
Right. I agree. I think running's definitely a solo
get the
thing.
buds in.
Uh-huh.
But then also I don't want to put the buds in when I'm alone because I want to be aware of my surroundings. Listen, that's why I don't run.
Well, no, that's valid.
Yeah.
Super valid.
It sucks. It really does suck.
I mean, that's an interesting point you're bringing up there that, you're considering your safety.
Yeah.
Out and about running when you think everyone should feel safe.
It just feels impossible. Like, you can do all the right things.
Yeah.
And still get
snatched.
Yeah. It's the thing. It's a problem.
It is. I mean, and it's things that, we guys take for granted, really. Like, it didn't cross my mind. I'm going for a run.
I know.
What did cross my mind was I need to be seen.
Right. Not get hit by a car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So Jonette, for Christmas, she bought me a few bits and bobs to make me be seen. Some reflective things.
Nice.
And they were flashing.
Sweet.
So I knew I was all set. Those were a Christmas gift. And this was the first time I'd run for about a month because I've been ill.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is going to be a bit brutal. And it was slightly raining, which was lovely. But you don't want the wind.
No, ew.
I mean, yes, wind assisted from behind and pushing you along, but then you've got to go the other way and it's a bit tough.
But also if it's cold wind,
no.
There's nothing worse. It feels like your lungs are freezing with every inhale.
I know. Last night, because it'd been a month, got probably, I want to say 3/4 of the way around my usual lap circuit. And where we live, it's pretty darn hilly, right?
Hilly, yeah.
So I was struggling up some of those. And 3/4 of the way, my lungs, they were crying for help.
Yeah.
I was just breathing in that cold air.
Yeah. I remember in elementary, middle school, high school, we had gym, as like an everyday class. It was just part of your everyday. And I think it was middle school. I had gym like first thing in the morning. And it was like in the winter time, we had to do the mile outside.
Run a mile?
Yeah. You have to do the mile, every year outside at like 6 a.m. Not 6 a.m., but 8 a.m. Like
probably
as soon as you got there.
6, yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm supposed to run.
Yeah.
And you get like tested.
On
basically,
your pace?
Yeah. If you come in over 12 minutes, you quote unquote fail the mile. And then it's like failed gym? I don't even know. But
and then what?
I don't know. everyone makes fun of you, I guess.
Get down and give me 10?
Yeah, it's like a really weird thing. And then, of course, you know me, my authority and my hatred of stupid rules that make no sense. I would walk, jog, barely run. Right. I would do it perfectly at 11 minutes and 58 seconds. Yeah. And, the whole time they're screaming at me like, let's go, Sabrina, pick up the pace. Yeah. And I'm just like, nah.
I'm just going to saunter in at 11:59.
Yeah, and the more you scream at me, the slower I'm going to go. No, it was some petty stuff back then. But also I did not like those coaches. One was my cheer coach. The other one was just a wretched woman.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, she got me kicked off the cheer team, actually.
Oh, for what? What'd you do?
For disobeying, I guess.
Right.
We had to there's like a drill you do in the morning, every morning. They literally line us up like little soldiers on the hard basketball gym floor, and they make us do, 20 sit-ups, 20 push-ups, 20 this, 20 that.
A few star jumps.
Every morning as a warm-up. And I have like that weird spine, the dinosaur spine, I call it, that kind of like pokes out.
Bit curved?
Bit curved, yeah. On like the middle of my back.
Right. Not a hump.
Not a hump, no. But like in the middle of the back, instead of like where most people's spines like go in, I feel like mine goes out. It's the dinosaur back. That's what I've always called it my whole life. But so when you're doing the crunches on the wood floor, it's like brrr, brrr, like you can just feel it every time. Mm-hmm. So I was just not doing them, just kind of laying there. And I was like, if I just lay here amongst these other like 50 kids, maybe they won't see me. They did see me and they were yelling at me to do it. I explained, hey, like my back.
Yeah.
They weren't having any of that. So
didn't want to hear it.
No. And they were like, well, if you're not going to do it, like you're going to run laps. I was like, I guess I'm running laps for the rest of gym. So instead of running the laps, I walked the laps.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
And then that gym teacher told my cheer coach that I did this. And then my cheer coach said, like, you need to write a letter of apology to this woman.
You're kidding me.
And until you do that, you're off the cheer team.
Because you enjoyed that.
I guess, yeah. It's considered, like a privilege, right? That's what they say.
Right. So that was your punishment.
Even though I had to, try out to be on the team. But
be good at it.
And be thrown in the air by some other 12-year-olds.
Right. Catch me, please.
Oh, yeah. And what a privilege.
That's a lot of trust, right?
So, yeah, in my apology letter, it was not really an apology. It was like, I'm sorry you're so stupid. One of those things. It was like, I'm sorry that you don't know how to teach. And it was one of those backhanded.
Love it.
Because I was just like, this is insane.
Yeah, yeah.
And turned it in. Kind of didn't expect her to read it. She read it.
And what did she
infer
right in
front
from
of
it?
me and like threw it away and was like,
okay,
even more mad. And
do that again.
My cheer coach was like, yeah, you're done. You're out of here. So I wrote a real one. Too bad ChatGPT didn't exist back then.
Right, just plug in a few prompts. Right.
Yeah, and then I was back on the team, but it was fine.
But were there any lessons learned? No.
No.
Because they just wanted you to jump through some hoops.
Yes.
To make themselves feel great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even at 13, I'm like, this is a weird power trip.
Uh-huh.
If anything, she learned a lesson.
I would say. Yeah.
Anyways.
Throwing out life lessons then. How'd you get on that? I don't know.
I don't know. We're talking about running.
Where did that come from? Oh, running.
Yeah.
What was your, hang on, just a little sidebar. What was your favourite thing at school, like, gym-wise?
Let's see.
What about jungle gym? You enjoy that? Did you do jungle gym?
No.
Didn't have anything like that?
I mean, at elementary school, we had like recess, which was just like free play, do whatever you want.
Do what you want.
And they had jungle gyms
Dealer's
there.
choice. We had jungle gym. It was a special thing that we had once every so often. And that was quite exciting because they would take the gym, the whole space of the gym. They would set up all this equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So you got trampolines, you got the trampets, you've got the rings, the ropes.
Oh, like gymnastics.
Everything. You've got crash mats. You've got basically they pulled out everything from the cupboards, set it all up, and it's like a circuit.
Oh.
So, and it's kind of like, as I remember, I might be making this up. I don't know, but you have to keep off the floor. Maybe that was just a game I played.
Yeah, like the floor is lava.
Yes, the floor is lava. I used to play that in my living room with my brother. Not so good if you got, there's just curtains and you got to clamber up some curtains.
Literally just put some throw pillows on the ground.
Yeah.
on those.
Yeah, we used to play that. So I think jungle gym was similar to
How old
that.
Are we talking with?
We're talking
jungle gym.
13, 14.
Oh yeah, okay. So
yeah,
like
that
school.
sort of thing. I remember that was good fun. Trampolines, ropes, damn hard.
Climbing the rope.
Yes.
See, they have this in like movies and TV, but I never.
The burn.
We never had that in my school.
Dang.
We never had the rope. you know.
It's a tall, it's right to the ceiling.
Climb the rope, ring the bell. We never had that. Thank God.
Because it's difficult.
I would embarrass myself probably.
Got to get, hand over hand and pull yourself up with your grasp, get your feet on the rope and pull.
Yeah. No, I could never. Although back then, like I was much stronger. We used to do the, I think it was called the presidential fitness test. It's real. Am I making this up, guys? I swear I think this is what it was called.
From the top level?
I don't know what it was, but basically it would be like these people would come in and they had they had the stopwatch and the clipboard and they were all like professional looking and we would do basically a circuit, but it was a test.
Really?
It was like to see how fit you were as like a 10-year-old, right? And you would have to like do these certain sit-ups. There was like this wooden block with a measurement and it was like to see how far your hands would reach every time you did a sit-up, and they're like sitting at the end holding your feet and like marking down what you're doing and how many pull-ups can you do.
That's weird.
And how fast can you run from this to this, and how many push-ups, all these weird things.
Well, all your stats, were they compared to, had the president done this? Has he got like the baseline? Have you got to like at least meet the president?
Dude, I don't know, but I can't imagine it would have been very hard to do that.
To beat the Prez?
Yeah.
Prez versus a 12-year-old.
Yeah, you look at kids and I remember being a kid, you could do anything. Now I can't do one pull-up. I can barely even do a push-up.
Yeah.
I can do a sit-up fine, but like the arm stuff? my arms
need work?
Like noodles. Yeah.
What's your current regime?
Nothing
yet. Working on it. It's still in planning mode.
It is.
Interesting segue there.
Oh.
If we're thinking about it. So, we want to talk about the next step after planning, making plans, and get into that a little bit.
Yeah, right. We've covered mindset.
Yeah, we talked about mindset a bit.
What comes after? Once you got that mindset in place.
Right.
Then you got to actually start making some moves.
Making the moves. So your mindset is feeling all positive. You've put the things in place. Mm-hmm. You're in a healthy mind space.
Yep.
You got some ideas. What comes after? You got some goals. What do you do with these goals? What's the best thing to do?
Just sit on them and think, man, wouldn't it be nice if I could ever do that?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, that's how a lot of shit doesn't get done.
I know. Yeah.
So there's the wishful thinking. Uh-huh. There's the wouldn't it be nice if, and then there's the point where you got to go, well, sod it. This is not going to do itself, is it?
Yeah.
So it's jumping in and taking some action.
Yep.
So this can relate to any personal projects you have for the year. This can relate to any business projects or creative endeavors. Uh-huh. I think we want to get into that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Taking action.
So what does action look like for you? Or does it change obviously it changes depending on what that goal is, right?
Good question. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like you have an overarching, like for anything, business, personal, a thing that you do when you're starting, that first action.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is to make that move. I mean, a lot of people have these ideas in mind and you can overthink it. You can plan too much. You can get stuck in planning mode.
Yes.
And, sometimes just overthinking can leave you paralyzed.
It's true.
On moving forward.
Yes. For me, it starts as I want to be as prepared as possible. There's no worse feeling when you're doing something than feeling like you're in free fall, kind of. You've already committed to starting it.
Yeah.
You've jumped off the ledge.
Yeah.
And now something pops up and you don't know what to do. You haven't planned for it.
There's no parachute or backup.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, the planning is every little detail and making sure everything is laid out and perfect before I even start. And like you said, sometimes that can be paralyzing, or it makes me think, oh shit, now there's this huge list of all these things I have to do. I don't even know where to start. Can I even do all this?
Yeah.
So
you might get overwhelmed. And it's like, I think they say paralysis in analysis, right?
Ooh.
You like that little rhyme?
That's great.
I do like a rhyme.
No, you? A poem? A rhyme? This guy?
Makes it memorable. So how do you get yourself out of that planning stage and actually into go mode?
I mean, just do it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nike the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Basically. Just do it.
You start a rough draft, a rough plan, and then you just start and then you figure out the rest as you're going along, because usually that is what it takes, right? I mean, with the pod, we had a whole plan of to-do lists, and then we just said, well, let's just start on one.
Right.
Once you start on one, you realize what needs to come next, and then what can happen after you do each thing. It all just builds on itself as you're doing it.
Right. It's momentum.
It is.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you have that self-doubt. Mm-hmm. Am I ready? And as soon as I do start, then this is happening. Yeah. You're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's a big thing, small thing, it doesn't matter. Everyone's guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. Is just deferring it or making up excuses. I haven't got enough money for this project to get started, or I'm not quite ready because this isn't in place. And it's just excuse on excuse. And
some of them real and valid sometimes.
Yeah, of course. They are. But
like don't up and move away or something if you can't afford it.
Just,
or quit your day job like we've talked about this before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, I am the one that will jump in. I'm quite risk adverse.
Yeah. But you also have a stable ground that you're on.
True that.
And you have a decent amount of wiggle room to play around with new ideas and new
projects,
things, new projects. Yes. And you have your current stable ground thing like ironed out. Mm-hmm. It's almost muscle memory. You can just do it without thinking at this point. So that leaves you room and space to think about other things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a lucky position where we do have the business Alphabet Art Photos, by the way. Go check them out.
In case you guys didn't know.
So, yeah, and then to get into some side projects and other endeavors is, that's a treat, basically.
Yeah.
But for those people who are starting out from scratch, just the way that Jonette and I did back in the day, it's that the risk levels go up. It's higher tariff. There's more at cost. You get to the point where you're like, well, hang on a sec. Am I happy with what we're currently doing? Can I improve my situation? And what does that take?
Right.
And invariably, it's basically just taking that first step.
It is.
It is. Jumping in.
Yeah. There are some big goals and big plans for sure, but most of them are just, there's no super risk and just kind of going for it,
Going for it.
I always think, what's the worst that's going to happen?
That's key.
Genuinely sit down and think that.
I know.
Because even some people get so crippled by little things like social situations.
Yes.
Which I totally understand. That is a thing. Social anxiety is real.
I have that.
Yep. And I just sometimes, if I'm feeling that, you just sit and think, literally, what is the worst that's going to happen? This person is going to think I'm weird.
Right. And
okay,
so
I didn't know them 5 minutes ago.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
The best thing that's going to happen is they're my friend now.
You make a new friend.
It's like it so outweighs.
And you get stuck in that overthinking mode, and maybe they're sitting there thinking exactly the same thing.
They most likely are. Everyone is thinking about themselves more than other people.
And who doesn't have some form, at some level, social anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like, okay, go for it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Sometimes just be a child, act like a child, act like a 5-year-old, and just go up to someone, and just say,
hey, you want to be my friend?
Yeah, you want to be my friend? You want to play with me?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't do that myself.
No.
So
hey, this year, bingo card. You are. Yep. You are.
Tea and Toasties is supported by Alphabet Art Photos.
Hello, Governor. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like something was missing in it? That one blank wall that just screams for attention, but you have absolutely no idea how to fill it?
Oh, I know that feeling oh so well, y'all. It's like you want something unique and personal, but everything you find is just, generic.
Spot on, geezer. We have the perfect thing for you. Alphabet Art Photos is a small biz on Etsy that's sprucing up wall decor with their niche alphabet photography.
It's like having a piece of art that's truly yours.
Also, supporting this lot means you're supporting a vibrant small business on Etsy. You're not just buying art, you're investing in someone's proper dream. And I know they'll be chuffed to bits.
Well, I do declare, if you're chomping at the bit to turn those blank walls into a masterpiece that reflects who you are, head over to Alphabet Art Photos on Etsy. Trust us, your future self will thank you.
Yes, mate. Make your space uniquely yours and let your walls do the talking. Use promo code TNT30 at checkout for 30% off your order of Alphabet Art Photos. That's etsy.com/shop/Alphabet Art Photos, promo code TNT30.
There was something you said a second ago, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's...
Oh, what's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen? Thank you. And I like to flip that and to tell yourself, what if it all works out in the end?
That's the other side of the question for sure. You can't think of the worst without thinking of also what's the best.
Where could this lead? So I like to flip it and then go, okay, let's think where this could go. Mm-hmm. What are the opportunities here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's the worst that could happen? Okay, but that could send you into a negative, a spiral down and a negative thought, and then that leads to another one, and down we go. But if you move it the other way, flip it and go to the other mindset and like, oh, what if it all works out in the end? What if I make a new friend? What if I launch a podcast? What if, I lose 10 pounds? Or what if I break the 12-minute mile?
Right.
I
mean, if you really think about it, life is just what ifs. That's all it is, because you can plan for the future all you want, but there is no such thing as future. There's no such thing as past. There's no such thing as future. The only thing that exists is now.
It's right now.
The moment you're in now.
Yeah.
That's all you know, truly. And so, all you really can think about is what could happen.
So many different scenarios that haven't been played out yet. And you're only in control of the right now.
Yep.
You can make things happen for your future by the choices you make now.
Yeah.
The past is gone. There's no point stressing and fretting on that. You can't change that shit.
Or you can take what you've learned in the past.
True.
And maybe guesstimate if it can apply to this thing in the future, but you never know for certain.
Right. Draw on your experiences, and that's what we do as humans, right? That's how we learn. Don't get too close to that fire.
Right.
That red thing, that actually hurts.
Yes.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Or here's an interesting one. Not business or anything related, but red flags and relationships.
Say more.
That to me is a tricky thing. It's become such a buzzword these days with social media, right? Red flag, red flag.
Yeah.
Then there's beige flag, which people have created, which is sort of a red flag, but not really. Who knows? I don't really subscribe to this.
A beige flag?
Any kind of flag.
Any flags?
Really, because it's you could say a red flag is me just drawing from my past experience, looking for those things that didn't work, and then applying it to people that I meet to then assume they'll also be the same as this previous bad experience because it's their red flag.
You're red flagging them, though.
Yes. What I've learned is just you do not know why people are acting or doing the things that they are doing. You can meet one person and they're a piece of shit just because they're a piece of shit.
Right.
And you're like, oh, learned that. And then you can meet someone else who might have similar traits, but then dig deeper and realize, oh, they're acting this way because they just haven't learned how to communicate this way properly, or they went through this one thing in life.
Yeah.
People aren't just written off.
One size fits all.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
That's interesting. Yeah. If you're seeing these trigger moments in other people, you're like, whoop, I see what's coming here.
Yep.
So avoid.
But you don't. Yeah. And there's so many things that can just be a misunderstanding.
Oh, big time.
You can just write someone off for whatever you think they're doing something for. A 5-minute conversation, you're like, oh, you didn't mean that in the way I took it at all. And
how many times does that happen?
So constantly.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yes. It really does.
Yeah.
And you know what the takeaway is from that is that you just can't, you're not in someone else's head.
I mean, think about your own head, right? And all the crazy shit you think about constantly and the little nuances and why you do certain things, why you say any word you say, and all the little things you do throughout your day and life. Everyone else is also doing that.
Yeah.
So to think you can even predict what anyone
Another
else...
human being.
Yeah,
right.
It's insane.
I know. Craziness, but so interesting, right?
Love it. Yeah, my favorite thing.
How people think. It's quite impossible to predict. And maybe we shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Because that kind of hamstrings yourself, right? Mm-hmm. But it's part of that self-preservation, protecting yourself.
It is. But also it can be so vastly different for two different people. Me and you, for example, we can have the same idea and plan, boom, with all the same guidelines. And then your predictions are maybe more optimistic, Right. You could say, it's going to work out perfectly. It's going to go swimmingly. And my predictions are all, no, it's all going to be bad, because that's just the way we think
that's
differently.
Our perspectives. Yeah. or our mindset, or a muscle memory. It's just how we've managed to cope in the world to this point.
We said it before in the JB episode, the importance of those two different mindsets, especially in the business side of things.
Having a balance.
Yeah, because we both have the same business goal, right? We sit down and we say, this is what we want to do for the business, this new product, this whatever.
Right.
And we had the same end goal. And then you come to the table with, okay, this is what I think we should do because this is what's going to happen. And then I'm like, whoa, what about this?
Easy,
and
fella.
Then this is what I think could happen. And then we sit down with both of those. We weigh them.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we always just go for it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Back to the taking the action.
Yeah.
The keys there are to be open.
Yeah.
And welcoming alternative perspectives, because that's how you're going to open and grow your own viewpoints and mindset. But also not being too married to your own idea, and don't take it personally.
No.
If, it's just an idea. You came up with it, but be open to the fact that this idea can grow and become something better.
Yes. Or that it can't.
Or that it can't. Yeah. I mean, don't, if you just said to me, Rich, that's shit, I would welcome that.
Yeah.
You feel brave enough, confident enough, and comfortable enough to just say that's awful.
Yeah.
You've not said that in so many words.
No, I never have.
Not those words.
Nope.
But I can infer from sometimes just the way you'd phrase things. That
letting you down easy is the way I'd say it.
But that then pushes me to improve.
We can go back and forth about if it's going to work or not. Most of the time we do it anyways, because with our business, the worst that can happen a lot of times is no one's going to buy the product.
That is pretty much it.
That's it.
You wasted a little bit of time.
That's it.
Yeah.
The best that can happen, people buy it.
Right.
It's basically money or no money.
Yeah.
We're not losing anything.
A little bit of time.
The only thing is effort, to gain.
Thought.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, because we're such a small business, we can scratch an idea quite quickly. Like, oh, that was a fail. But hey, what we did, we learned and we grew through the process of making a new item. I mean, we basically just yesterday, put out 2 new items. And just the process, it didn't really take that long of just sort of collaborating on a new item. How do we get there? Put all the little tasks into place, make them very snackable.
Yeah.
And then move forwards. Move forwards. That's the key.
And this stemmed from basically us sitting down to do a year in review business-wise at the start of the year. Okay, how was the last year? How can we improve this year? What plans are we putting into place for the new year?
Yes.
I remember we didn't get to these new items until the last 5 minutes of the conversation. We were just suddenly like, hang on, why don't we just do this?
Right.
Because we had to get into the deets of it. We had a second shop that we opened on Etsy called Fabled Cottage. We wanted to lean into this cottage core aesthetic that was pretty popular, and also a younger demo.
Yeah.
And we had all of these new product ideas, and I mean, we worked on that shop. It was up for what, a year? Longer than that?
Yeah, but it's a brand new shop.
So
it's quite difficult to get a brand new Etsy shop performing quickly.
Yes, especially nowadays. It's so saturated on Etsy, and just to get seen,
it's tough.
It's tough from nothing, right? Yeah. And so we tried it for a year, and we were kind of feeling a little bit down about it. It didn't pan out the way we wanted it to.
We had big dreams for that one.
And we're spoiled. We have Alphabet Art Photos.
The flagship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're like, why can't we do 2? Optimistically thinking that. And then end of year review comes. We're talking about Fabled Cottage. How much effort do we want to put into this shop in 2025? We put all this effort in and saw seemingly little results.
Yes. Do we want to flog that dead horse?
Yeah.
How much has it got left in it? Is there another way to achieve the goal? And then
I said, why don't we just put those items onto Alphabet Art Photos?
Duh.
Hello. Because we were stuck on the idea of Alphabet Art Photos is literally, it's the name. It's Alphabet Art Photos. That's what we do on that shop.
And we felt maybe we'd boxed ourselves in a little bit.
Boxed ourselves in,
on that.
And then I started thinking, who's actually looking at the title of the shop?
No one.
The shop has legs. People see it because it's been on for so long.
It's got the history.
It's got the history. Let's just put those items on the shop that we know is successful already.
Yeah. It already has eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
It benefits from its age. It's been on there since 2011. So I think in the algo that helps it a lot.
Plus, I mean, the orders over the years.
Yeah. The reviews.
It's an item that Etsy knows people like. So they boost it up
bump
a bit.
us up.
Yeah, because they know they'll make money off of it.
Yeah.
And then that led us to, well, hang on, what else can we do? What else can we throw on there?
Yeah. We had that meeting you were talking about, and 2 points from that that you raised. The first one, which I think is something definitely to look at if you are looking to make plans for the future, is to take a moment for that reflection, you know? And we did that. We looked, it was like the year in review, right? We looked at what worked, what didn't, why it didn't.
Yeah.
Draw on the past experiences. Don't dwell on it. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah. Few fails. So what? We learn, you know, when you fail. Failure's the biggest teacher, right? So we took those lessons, applied it to this year, the future.
Yeah. It's important to look at those and assess because, you know, like we're such a well-oiled machine at this point that it can just get dull. Not just like how you feel doing the work, but the actual work itself, it can get stagnant. People are ever changing, you know, they want new products, they want new things like we've talked about in the JB episode, the guest books.
Yeah.
You know, when you guys first came out with that was a hot new thing. Now it's evolved so much, right? So then therefore our items have evolved to keep up with the trends and all the things. So if you just stay stagnant and then 10 years down the road, you're like, why isn't my item selling anymore?
Exactly.
Oh, the item that was popular 10 years ago? Like that, there's your answer, right?
Right.
So you have to look back and it's just that growth mindset.
Growth mindset, always moving forward. Yep. Basically, if you stand still, you're pretty much going backwards.
The world is going to keep going past you. And it's also don't be afraid to break your own rules sometimes.
Big time, yeah.
You make rules for a reason in that moment, and then sometimes they need to be changed.
You know, we like to just come up with different ways to how to optimize things within our system.
Yep.
And we'll try different ways of doing it. And another one we came up with recently is to basically, I think it was to jot down like a list of 10 tasks or things we wanted to get into. And then we reduced it to, was it top 3 or top 5 or something? Do you remember that one? Because we wanted to say which of these tasks would give us the biggest bang for the buck.
Exactly.
Right?
Every task takes time.
Yeah.
Some tasks, you know, we just completely wrote off because we thought, okay, that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money.
And what's the upside
on that? What's the outcome?
Yeah.
We're like we had so many big plans for that other Etsy shop. And then we had no choice but to look at the bigger picture of it's not really doing much.
Yeah.
So do we want to spend this much time and effort on something that might have no outcome when we can be doing a million other things that will have a better outcome? But then we would, you know, complete 3 and then pull out 3 more from the bucket.
Yeah.
And add them to the top 3 and then do those 3 and then pull the other ones out of the bucket.
Yeah. But the key with those, picking the top 3 was, we're prioritizing these. Go for the one that's going to provide the biggest bang for the buck and the one that's probably the toughie.
Yeah.
You know, get that one done first.
Yeah.
So that you feel that you've accomplished something. You know, eat the frog.
Eat the frog.
You heard of that?
No.
Yeah, eat the frog.
Kissing the frog.
Kissing the frog. Oh, let's go ahead and eat it. It's like it's the most difficult thing. Just get on and do it.
The thing that we realized with doing the big thing first as well is during that year in review, the reason that we also do the year in review, it's perfect timing right after our biggest busy time is the downtime. You know, the January, February, it's before the spring weddings, it's after the retirements, it's after the Christmas. People are getting back into the regular flow of things. And that's perfect timing for us. We have more free time.
Yeah.
We have time to work on new things instead of just the hustle and bustle of the everyday.
Once you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard to find that time, let alone plan and have the brain to think up new ideas. You know, we're so can get bogged down, you know, super busy with the day to day.
That's when you don't have the time.
Yeah.
So don't look at those down times as, don't stress.
Yeah.
The fact that the money isn't as flowy as in your busy seasons.
Yeah.
Look at those periods, those down times as opportunities to really reflect on what's happened previous, but also to plan. Plan.
Use that time in your benefit for sure.
All right. Well, I think we've talked quite a bit about how we go about things. keeping in mind that we have like a common goal. We know where we want to get to. But of course, you're going to work in your way and I'm going to work in my way. So tell me a little bit about how you go about things.
Yeah. It's one thing to divvy out the plans and then to actually start doing it, right?
Doing it.
And I find I can only do like one big task at one time. I'm good at multitasking. I don't mind multitasking.
Right.
But just the regular workflow of my day-to-day with just the Etsy shop normal tasks of the orders, I've told you before, I'll stay in one tab the whole time. Like if I'm proofing orders, I will proof every single one until they're all done. And then if a message pops up from one that I've just proofed, I don't go and read it. I stay there.
That's amazing to me.
I would get too sidetracked, and then I would just get too, my head would be too jumbled, and I'd get overwhelmed, I think.
Right.
Whereas you're the opposite. You see
squirrel.
that message pop up, and you're like, oh, let's go in here.
But
then there's benefits of that as well, because your thoughts, and it's been proven, is like, well, if I can, jump in there and message them if they have a question or they want to add a frame, like do it now while it's fresh. Don't give them time to overthink it.
I know. Don't give them time to back out. Exactly. If they want a frame now, let's get this transaction done. Which
usually what ends up happening is I'm supposed to be the one in Etsy doing the proofing and the messaging and things, and you're on a side task. And then you'll pop in to Etsy.
I know.
And you're answering the messages from the people that I'm
leaving,
dealing with. Yeah. So then it's both getting done at the same time.
It works. We found a way that works.
It works.
And
it's that, like you said, squirrel brain that you have sometimes is super beneficial, because you'll be meant to be doing one task and then just have this idea or something will spark it.
Yeah.
And then you'll come to me like, hey, so while I was doing this thing, it led me to this and then this, and then suddenly you have 30 tabs open and you've got this big idea happening.
My computer, you've seen my screen. How many tabs I've got? Like two browsers. I got Chrome, I got Firefox, and I got like 20 tabs open in each. And I'm clicking, bouncing around. I know what's where, and then I'm just working on one thing, and then all of a sudden something pops into my head, and I'm like, oh shit, just jump over there and do that. I don't know. I'd love to be more organized. Your brain is...
My brain is very like a list. Everything is in a specific
task,
order,
focus.
task.
Yeah. And that's your superpower, is your ability to not just fly, but just to organize things.
I will never want to fly.
Levitation.
No, it's scary.
A bit of that. But yeah, you organize.
Organize. Yeah. Which then I guess leads me to how to best organize your time.
Oof, time management.
Jeez. Listen, don't look at me.
Oh, yeah, right.
Shoo.
Time management. How do we? It's such a thing, isn't it? I mean, I've tried different ways to optimize your day.
Yeah.
One that actually someone told Jonette and I. We went to a business coach quite a few years ago now. I don't know if you knew that.
Wow, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Time blocking. Blocking the day out. For this hour, I'm going to just solely be doing and working on this. That would work great for you.
I was actually just going to say almost the opposite.
Oh, interesting.
That I think works for you. For me, it's almost task blocking.
What do you mean?
If I say, okay, I only have an hour to do this thing.
Yeah.
If I either don't get the task done in that time, I'm like panicking. I'm like trying to beat the clock the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas if I just go into it thinking, I can't do the next task until this first task is done.
Yeah.
Then it's easy for me to move on to the next task and not think about the other task that's already done. If I didn't get it all done in that hour and I go on to the next task, I'm going to still be thinking in the back of my head, shit, I still have this
about the other
thing
task
to do. Yeah. Or the other side of the coin is, if the task isn't going to take me an hour, then I feel like I'm just wasting time, or like extending the task so that it lasts the hour,
right?
Or just finding busy work or something to do in that hour.
Right. Parkinson's law being in play at that point, the thing of you take the amount of time that you're given to complete the task.
Right.
It's like if someone gives you an assignment and it's for, You've got a week to finish it. You take all week.
Of course.
You know, I mean, you can probably relate.
Hey.
What time did that episode get posted?
Yeah. Almost midnight on Monday.
Now, if you'd have given yourself 3 days to edit and post, I bet you'd have got it done.
Exactly. If I just have one task I need to do, but with no timeline, I'll be doing that task for the rest of my life. But if I have another task lined up after it, then I can probably get that initial task done.
I get
knowing
that
after that I'll have this next task.
I get you. Let me ask you this. What if you're not so, you're flexible, right? I'm giving myself an hour to work on this task. And if you're in it, if you're bang into this task and you're fully focused, I think an hour is long enough. If you're fully focused on one thing, especially if you're stuck in front of a screen, right?
Yeah.
I think after an hour, you need to get up, walk around. I don't do it. I'm just saying that's what I need to do also, right? I'm literally, you can scrape me off my chair at the end of the day.
For me, I just listen to my brain kind of, I think, or a body. It's not like a timer, 1 hour. Okay, I should get up. It's like, I can feel it. I mean, at work, I'll freaking sit there and do those solds, those proofs. I'll be having to pee so bad. And I'm like, no, like I have to get done with this order.
Yeah.
And then I can do it. It's like a goal at the end. I have to. Because then I hate leaving a task in the middle.
Right.
And then if I leave in the middle of it and I come back, I'm like, wait, what's this last name again? And then I have to go back. It's like I'm wasting time like going back and reminding myself of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. If I'm bouncing from task to task, there's extra time spent reminding myself, getting back on track of what I was doing to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I've got into something recently, we brushed on it a little bit before, was looking at your list, picking out 3 things. This is like big tasks for us, but I've tried to apply that daily now. What I'll do is get my Post-it notes before the day, usually after my coffee. I'll sit at my desk and I go, what are the 3 things, just three that I want to achieve today? Then I'll look at the 3 and I go, which is the one that's got, is going to have a biggest impact, and then try to achieve it and move on, cross it off. That feels so good when you just check that one off. Mm-hmm. Of course, I do get a little distracted. In the house, there's so much going on that things do crop up.
Always.
So I think being flexible on your time as well is like, don't beat yourself up if you're going for the time block.
Right.
Don't beat yourself up if you didn't get it done in the hour. Mm-hmm. It can bleed into the next hour.
Do you feel that it's almost like the accomplishment of the task is more meaningful than the actual task getting done? Don't put so much pressure on crossing off the thing on the list. Like, remember the thing on the list that you're doing in the first place.
Very good point. Yeah.
Because the distractions seem like bad on the surface, but they're distractions kind of for a reason.
Yeah.
And then like if you actually look back at your day, you can look at it like, I got all these things done. But what were those things? Meaningful things? Did you have a good day?
Right.
Whereas if maybe you didn't get much done, but you got distracted with other things that then were more fulfilling to your actual day to day.
Right.
Is that making sense?
I see what you're saying. Look at those distractions. Yeah, they're moving you away from the primary task, but those distractions might end up having a better result for you generally.
Yeah.
Than that task would always be there.
Right.
You can get back to it.
Yeah.
But if there's a distraction that leads to something that you hadn't even thought of, then that's gold. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Or
even just a distraction that's just good, fulfilling for your life.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if I'm in here editing away for 5 hours and, Gertie comes in, I'm like, get out of here, Gertie, you're distracting me.
Yeah, it's no good.
But then if I leaned into that, played with Gertie for a little bit, at the end of the day, I'm going to be like, oh, what
that's
a
good
good
for
day.
the soul.
Oh,
yes.
Sweet. Or Aaron comes in, he's like, hey, like take a break.
Yep.
Come out here, like let's cook dinner together, as opposed to him, just bringing me a plate or something.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta grind away on this task, which like there's the task being done at the day that's fulfilling. And then there's the things that you did during your day that's also fulfilling.
So we're back to that balance.
Back to it.
I know. It's so key. We're all guilty of going 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Especially, with phones and beeps and boops and buzzes and, you know, all the notifications and things coming your way. There's so many distractions.
Know the good distractions. And
bad
distractions
very
too.
Good advice there. Notice what's a welcome distraction.
What's serving you and what's not serving you.
Dude, that's good. And what about, go on.
I was going to say, if your distraction is, you know, someone on social media that is just making you jealous or, you know, look at your life in a negative way, not a good distraction.
Not a good one.
Yeah. Or someone's calling you and, you know, if my mom calls me versus someone I know who's just going to like be a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to answer that call, but I'll answer my mom's call.
Right.
You know, usually that ends in a good positive feeling.
Yeah. So, observing, noticing what is serving you, and sometimes just stepping away. You know, you might be stuck in on a project and you can't figure out, rather than just sit there and staring at the problem. Get up, walk about, do something that's different. Get some fresh air. Mm-hmm. Something that's just completely different to what you were doing. And invariably you find that your brain is braining in the background. It's solving that problem for you.
Yeah.
Suddenly the solution pops in your head.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like more productive to not be sat there just stressing on the problem.
Yeah, you're too in it to realize you're too close. Zoom out a little bit.
Zoom out. Well, you know what?
What?
I think it might be time for the teapot.
I think it's time. I think the kettle is whistling.
It is, isn't it? Can you hear it?
Here we go. Everyone's favorite moment.
All right.
You go.
Me first? All right, I'll pick one out. All right, here, I've pulled this one out.
Okay.
It says, so what's one thing you want to work on / learn in your life?
Oh.
Just one thing.
One.
That I want to work on or learn. Like the thing.
Yeah, probably. What's one?
Oh my God. There's so many things I want to learn.
I know.
I mean, I got a list.
How about this? So like, what if end of your life, look back, what would be one like, oh, dang, I wish I'd
done that. Learned
not even
that,
done, but
learned
that. Or like, what's one thing I wish I had improved about myself?
Well, that's funny. Life. That sparked a little side question or a point in my head. So it's kind of like when you've seen those the interviews, and you've seen like where people go into old people's homes.
Yes.
And
I can't watch those, honestly.
You can't. Why?
I don't know why.
Huh. I think it's quite interesting.
It is interesting.
Where they are, you know, they pitch the question, and it's usually this one. It's like, okay, you've lived a very long life. You're 80 odd.
What's the advice?
What's the advice you could give? Yes. Do you have any regrets? And what's the one thing you would say to everybody, you know, if you could go back and all that jazz?
Yeah.
So, and it's typically this, isn't it? It's don't stress on the small things. Don't sweat the smalls, basically. Yeah. I got so worked up, wasted such an amount of time stressing and worrying about such tiny things.
Yeah.
Don't sweat the smalls.
I think I don't like those because various reasons, but they make me sad almost.
Why?
Because it's like they're sharing their regrets, things that they wish they could have done that they didn't do and now they can't do. And that makes me sad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then it also kind of makes me, it's things like that, right? Easier said than freaking done.
Oh, God, yeah.
And so the fact that I know it and I know I'm doing it, and then also kind of in the back of my head, no, I probably can't not do it. And then I'll be them when I'm older.
Oh, no.
And I'll be like, shit.
I sweated those smalls.
I didn't do the thing. And I knew I shouldn't have been doing it the whole time. I don't know. Maybe it's my pessimistic brain thinking again, but yeah, it makes me kind of sad. They are interesting though, right? Because it's like
those studies.
It's a chance to like look at a potential future of yours and like, oh, okay, like you can relate to these people. Like, oh, I could see myself having that same regret or whatever. So if I can have the chance now to not, then no.
Kind of useful, right?
Yeah, it is useful. It is. I just get caught up in the like, oh, dang, that's sad. Because then there are some other ones too that aren't so general. Like there'll be a woman, you know, and she's like, oh, I wish I would have left that marriage. Then it's like, oh, that makes me sad too.
Right.
Like, I wish I want more for her.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good.
Anyways.
That's
not quite the question.
No, I don't know
regrets,
if I answered it. It was one thing you would like to work on or learn in your life. Yeah. So yeah, the no regrets part. But
I think I have on top of my head, I think if I could look at my life when I'm older and look back, sure, lots of different things I hope to accomplish and do. And if I can look back and say that I had full, meaningful relationships with people, then
you're a winner.
That's good with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meaningful connections.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically what we're here for.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is to have those fulfilling relationships, right?
Yeah. Because if you really think about it, at the end of the day, the only reason you're not doing that now or living your full true self is because of these little fears, little insecurities, little things that you're worried about that really they will not matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because really the only reason you're not doing something now is because you're worried about the muture. Oh, how's this going to look on me tomorrow? And then when you're older, there's not many more tomorrows or future.
No.
Don't not do things or don't do things just because of the fear of the future, because the future ain't going to be there forever.
Very wise. Very wise.
Everyone's got a deadline.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Holy shit.
Well, I think we exhausted that one.
I was going to say, I mean, you didn't quite answer it, but hey, you got into some other stuff.
Else.
Yeah.
You shake this one up and pick one out. Spill the tea. Come on.
Hopefully, we need some juicy questions in here. We keep getting some serious
need to
questions.
Rewrite some here. Please. Oh, by the way, folks, write us some questions. Send in some comments.
Please do.
And we'll add them into the pot.
We would love to add them into the pot. Because, I mean, hey, we're only 2 brains here.
Yeah.
We can only go so far with these brains.
Go on, what you got?
Okay, here we go. This kind of relates to what we've been talking about with your time and spending it wisely for your life. Describe your perfect Saturday afternoon.
Oh.
What a fun one.
That is a fun one.
Yeah.
Perfect Saturday
afternoon. You have no responsibilities, or you do if that's your perfect afternoon. But yeah, just describe your perfect Saturday afternoon.
All right. Well, just the afternoon. So the morning's been stellar already.
Oh, okay. You can, yeah. I guess it did say afternoon.
But it's all right now. I don't have to create the morning. It's just I know it's been
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the beach has to be involved.
Okay.
So I'm at the beach, and I'd like a lot of people to be there.
The packed beach.
Yeah. Well, no. Like nobody there. It's a
people that you choose to be there, like a big group with you. You mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Group of friends, and just getting into some beach activities.
Yeah. Am I there?
Sure. And with like sharks teething.
Yeah.
And a little bit of sports, some beach stuff, volleyball.
Yeah.
And definitely jumping in the ocean. And someone's brought a surfboard.
Oh.
I'd love to learn to surf.
Okay.
Yeah. Silver surfer.
Nice.
And learning, that would be great. A surf lesson and beach stuff. After that, someone says, right, let's go grab some tacos, some shrimp tacos. And we find a beach, like a little hole in the wall shack. Ooh, maybe some like fish sandwich and some cold beer. And there's some music going on. And it's afternoon hangs in a beachside shack with cold beer and eats. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
That's going on. And then I've got to get one more thing in. So we're all finished up there. Then, ideal or not, it would just be, I think for me, is to not predict what's happening next. It's the unpredictable.
Yeah. What can we get into? Who knows?
Yes.
Where's the night going to take us?
Exactly. It's just like anyone just fires in a suggestion. So it's kind of open table.
Yeah.
And it's wherever it goes. So there's nothing stuck in a plan. So the last part of the afternoon is just a free-for-all.
Right. Nothing worse than a plan.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, God. Ugh. Especially when you got multiple heads involved.
Restrictive.
Shoo. That can bog me down.
Yeah. And then, try and please everybody. Like, oh, what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you end up doing nothing. Just sit there and get another pitcher of beer in.
Yep. Go home.
What about you?
That's a great one. Mine, I fear, is kind of similar. I definitely in the summertime. Yeah. Like you said, the morning would just be, who knows, but perfect in my eyes. A nice slow morning, probably maybe a brunch, a mimosa. Oh. Sunny, nice day. I don't know where I'm at. Maybe not the beach, but maybe like a lake situation, somewhere where I could get into the water if I wanted to.
Right.
Just, a group of friends. We're all max chilling, soaking up the sun.
Ooh, some sun.
Just laying there, relaxing, listening to some music.
But you're there, aren't you? You've closed your eyes. You're picturing this.
I'm so there.
Uh-huh.
Yep. At some point, I'd like some live music. Bop over to like a little show outside.
Pink Beds, are they playing?
They're there, hopefully. Aaron at least with me. Yeah. Just like one band though. I'm not talking like a festival, right? I don't want an all day affair.
Right.
And then get some nice beers, sit around, maybe like a picnic moment.
Ooh. Sounds good.
Some nice food. Yeah, just simple. Just hanging out, relaxing in the sun with some people and listening to some music.
Pretty similar.
Okay. I know. Look at us.
Right.
Well,
then well.
Well, then
we ride.
I think that's good for the teapots.
We're going to wrap it up.
We're going to wrap it, I think.
All right.
Shoo. I mean, yeah, we talked a lot about our process with the whole action and planning and how our brains work, how it works best for us. Yeah, if you took away anything from this, great.
Little nuggies.
Yeah, little nugs from our experience.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love that. Would love the feedback.
Tell us, if you found any, all, or nothing of this value to you, then let us know.
Or you're listening and you think, well, hold on, what about this? Something that we didn't even hit. Or a way that your brain works.
We'd love to hear that.
Yeah, I would love it.
Send us a comment.
Send it.
Yeah. And if you think that any of what we've talked about or do talk about, whether it's you find this this pod a little, it's entertaining, brings a smile to your face, then sweet. That's what we're shooting for. And if you think that any friends or family, anyone you know could also benefit from this pod or would enjoy this pod, please share.
Share with your friends.
Go on.
Yeah, you have your perfect Saturday afternoon listening to this pod.
Oh.
Just kidding.
All right.
Yeah, and you can comment, share, all those things over on our Instagram, which is at Tea and Toasties Pod. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can leave comments. You can rate, review, subscribe, all those things. That would also help us out a lot. Get seen.
Yeah.
And over on the YouTube as well, if you want to listen on there, we've got the audio up over there at Tea and Toasties. So yeah, get us in those ears, all those places.
Coming straight into your ear holes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess that's it.
All right. Well, we're checking out for the day.
Checking out, getting back to work.
Get back to it. Yep. I got to head home.
Yep. And we will talk at you next week.
Talk at you next week.
Bye-bye.
TTFN.
TTFN.
Tea and Toasties.